So one of the things I thought would be fun to do is revisit an old project. I don't remember if this is the first dice tower I ever made or just one of the first. Me and my kids worked on this together, and it was a good little family project for us. But kind of a Lion Witch in the Wardrobe inspired sort of dice tower. I wanted to think bigger. I want it to light up.
Dungeons and coffee.
Greetings. I'm going to use some real low quality foam for this particular project. Of course, it's going to be fine and messy. You're going to get plenty of foam balls all over the place, so be ready for that. As you can see, I'm using the hot wire foam cutter to cut the slabs of ice. Get the shapes and cuts you want for the project with some jagged edges, give them some angles. That'll give them that icy look. Here's my tube. A poster came in the mail on this one. And I've put plenty of windows and openings in this because I do want that glow to show off. Now the tower is going to start taking shape as we put the base on there and we start to put on the other trim. So there you go. Once your trim is all on there, you may want to fill in some spaces with some Elmer's glue or hot glue. You don't want it too hot, of course, or it'll melt your foam. And it'll look a little something like this. Before I paint it, however, I'm going to use some of this joint compound to give it some texture, because I want it to have plenty of texture. It's going to make it easy to paint, and it's going to make it look more realistic. And again, this is all for texture, texture, texture. Next, I'm going to coat the whole thing with some cheap old white glue, and this will make it so that the paint will last longer, and the cardboard and the plaster won't suck up all the paint so easily. This will also greatly cut down on those sharp edges left by the plaster. Now we're ready to do some painting, boys. With some baby blue. Tell me, am I getting through? Okay, I'm just going to feather on, or I'm just going to dust on some of this baby blue paint here. And when it's over, it blends in pretty good. You want to put your paint a little heavier on the bottom, so that it kind of lightens up as it goes upward. At least that's the style I'm going for. And my craft light is a little too bright, so here's a couple of photos to give you an idea of what it'll look like from different angles. Alright, alright, alright. Here's where that beautiful texture comes into play. I'm going to dry brush, but I'm going to use very heavy and damp paint. And I'm going to do that to bring out this texture. And that just seems to work better if you do it that way when you're doing ice. Alright, you can see what I'm talking about a little better here. It's nice and thick, but it looks like I'm doing the dry brush technique. Maybe I am, I don't know. But here's what I'm doing. Right there, boys. Well, with this next step, you don't necessarily have to do it. I'm going to do it just because I'm going to put a little extra into this one. But I'm going to put some snow, and oh, you add a little bit of white paint too, and ice up the windows. And to do that, I'm going to make some of that gooey snow that everybody on the internet makes with baking powder, white glue, a little bit of water to add as needed, make it as thick as you need it. Notice here as I'm putting a little frost or ice around this window, this pasty snow works great. It's easy to apply and it dries really fast, really fast. And here's what it'll look like as it's drying. This is, you just glob it on there, you put it where you think snow would fall, or the ice may have melted at some point. Go ahead and overdo it, because this stuff looks really good and it's fun to work with. It's like icing a cake with a paintbrush. Also, not shown in the video, but near the opening at the top where you drop the dice down in there, I'm going to go back and put lots of Mod Podge in there so that that'll reflect the light that's going to be turned on at the bottom. And here's another angle, and here's some more. But look, more sludgy snow stuff. Now when it's all said and done, boys, it will look a little something like this when you are finished. Meanwhile, 3 hours later. Now we'll dare to have a die roll test. Quite functional. Seems to work well. Next, we'll use a glow cube to get that much desired glow effect. Let's see how she looks in the dark, shall we? Here I am just kind of scooting this around so you can get an idea what it looks like from the different angles. I probably should have put a couple more windows in there, but that's alright. That's alright, she'll look something like this. And you can even use a blinking beacon, if that's your preference. A blinking beacon. Alright, so I'm going to show it from the top all the way down to the bottom nice and slow like this. And I'm showing you this with the lights on so you know what I'm doing when the lights are off. So here we go. Lights out. Alright, so you see there? Comes up, glows nice and bright all the way through the top. It's more bright than it appears on video. And of course that'll depend on what kind of light source you use too. Tea lights would work just as well. Good old Frank Mincer gave me this dice. It's one of the old TSR prototypes from back in the day. I really appreciate that. So I'll cherish this always. Got a lot of history and meaning behind it. Well, thanks for watching. Keep your books off the table. Keep reaching for the dice.
Remember, keep your books off the table and keep reaching for the dice.